Here we are right back again. This is Legacy of Leaders. I'm your host, Jamar Suber. And as you know, I talk to amazing entrepreneurs and executives who push us to go higher. And today I'm with the amazing Katarina Rawdan of Datavant. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
We are excited to have you here this morning.
It is my pleasure. I'm also excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, data, medical records, and all this mystery type of stuff, right? Yeah. Tell us about your industry and what you do with Datavant.
Oh my God, I'll nerd out on this all day.
Let's nerd out.
Okay, all right. So healthcare IT and data, specifically with Datavant, we are in the business of essentially being the pipeline between requesters, right? So whether you are a payer or a provider, you're going to request a medical record on a patient because it's relevant to whatever it is, the claim that they're asking for, right? There aren't a lot of companies that go and have the ability to get that information and that data. So we work behind the scenes to help fulfill that request. That data is going to, come in the form of medical records. Sometimes we're on site, so we can actually physically go pull it. Sometimes we have access to a provider's, like a healthcare system's EMR system. Sometimes we're actually picking up the phone and saying, hey, can we have so-and-so's information on behalf of this person?
Okay. So for those who don't know, tell us what EMR system is.
An EMR system is an electronic medical record. So when you go into a doctor's office, they've got the computer screens now for the most part. I've been to some doctor's offices that are still pen and paper, and it's kind of nostalgic, right? But it's the computer system that now sits in every doctor's office where a nurse comes in and they take your weight, then your provider comes in, whether it's a physician, nurse, nurse practitioners, and they enter all of your data. Okay, so whatever you're there for the day, it all lives in that EMR system.
So Datavant, you do a lot of work behind the scenes, the type of work that we don't see through the public eye.
Yeah.
How'd you get into this industry?
How long do we have?
As long as you need.
Okay, let's take it. So I started out as a solution consultant with Cerner. And so probably everyone's heard of Cerner, Epic, that's electronic medical records. And spent time in the solution consultant role for probably about 2 years, and then moved into an architecture role. So that's where we would actually go on site in healthcare systems and then with, smaller practices and providers, and work with them around architecting and solutioning how they wanted their electronic medical system to work, or whatever solution it was. Sometimes it would be our population health type of solution. So I did that for quite a long time, and then moved into more of an executive role and people leadership role. And that's really what my passion is. I love watching leaders grow and, fulfill whatever their destiny is. But then transitioned into where I am now, kind of wanted to be in just something new, learn more about the actual data, because that's where the world is going now with AI and everything. And so I had this opportunity present itself and grabbed it.
The space of big data is huge, just like you said. So where do you see Datavant going from here?
Oh gosh, that's a loaded question. I asked that one time with our CEO, and I was like, Pete, what are we doing? Are we ever gonna, create a solution? Because gosh, we have our fingertips on all this data, right? And he's just the best guy. And he was like, Kat, that's not the industry that we're in. And he's like, our industry is to help the requesters get that information for them. So we want to be the biggest company in the world that has access to all this big data, right? We want to help get that information to the the folks, the companies, you know, the nonprofits, these big science companies, and let them do the solutioning. So I think, you know, to answer your question on where do I see us, in all honesty, I think I see us just growing bigger and better.
That's
you
great.
know, really taking and polishing what we're doing now. Every year, how data is structured, it changes. So we went from something called HL7 to now we're working in FHIR, and it's just, you know, it's like computer language, you know, and so we're always having to keep up with that and advance our technology. And that's a lot of work,
I'm sure.
You know, to restructure the actual architecture of how that computer language is going from here to here. Because you build out a whole system and it works. And we're kicking, and they're like, oh, we're going to change it on you. Now we're going to talk a different language, right? And so you're like, oh,
that's the speed of technology.
Yeah,
right?
great.
Yeah.
So then we got to change everything and make sure that, you know, they can receive the information in the right language. You know, so that it translates.
Absolutely. Man, I enjoyed our conversation. I'm glad you came onto the show. We'll have to continue this.
I would love that.
Deal?
Deal.
All right. Absolutely. If you want to learn more about Katarina and Datavant, please log on to dailynewsnetwork.com. You've just watched Legacy of Leaders, and I'm your host, Jamar Suber.